Let's start with the Mets and where they stand at the break. Crazy turnaround, guys. They were once 11 games under 500. They're now 3 games above 500 at the break. Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, and Pete Alonso have been very vocal to the media about wanting to be buyers at the deadline. Do you think they've done enough to change Stearns' approach here at the deadline?
At the moment, the answer is yes, Nikki. They signed a bunch of guys on one-year deals like Luis Severino, Harrison Bader, obviously Pete Alonso's in his walk year, and a very obvious path in that is if you're not in contention, you sell at the deadline on all these kind of rental players, and you include Alonso in that as a rental because he's not signed up full-time, so rental for somebody else. And at this point, I mean, I can tell you through reporting that if they're in playoff position, there's no way they're trading Alonso and Severino. And that's different from my reporting in, I don't know, May when things are bad. I'm hearing, yeah, we might have to consider trading these guys. That's where we're at. So 100% the dynamic around the trade deadline has changed. There's still enough time where we have to say that the Mets have to keep it up on the field. If they come out of the break poorly, that could be another conversation all over again. But at this time, I would say the vibe around the industry about them is that they're kind of more soft buyers than sellers.
So we know everyone talks about being either a buyer or a seller.
Yeah.
What about the opportunity of being both? You buy a little, you sell a little, kind of in between.
Yeah, you know, Nikki, that's something like the Mets front office is considering. That's been an idea that's been discussed internally, but those things are tricky to pull off. The Red Sox tried to do that a few times lately, and they didn't end up any better. You shipped a few guys out that were pretty good. You brought a few guys in that were pretty good. You were still just an okay team. It's tough to thread the needle that way, especially when you're talking about with the Mets, the theory would be trading starting pitching. Trade Sean Manaea, trade Jose Quintana, maybe for some bullpen help. That's a dangerous game to play. You're in contention, you're subtracting arms. So I would look, I can't rule that out because they haven't ruled it out, but I would look more toward their internal depth. They've got guys, you've already seen it with Jose Budo and Daniel Nunez. You could see Tyler McGill helping the bullpen. That way you might be able to promote some guys who reshuffle the roles without having to trade arms. I'm not convinced the Jose Quintana's on this team in August, but that's a tough thing to do, subtract talented pitching that other people want and still be a contender. So I don't know.